What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Nathan. I'm back here again, and I'm going to be talking to you about Thor Ragnarok. Warning, major spoilers, so if you have not seen it yet, which, let's be honest, you should have already seen it yet. But if you have not, now is your time to flip over to another video and come back once you've seen the movie Thor Ragnarok. So, I'm going to be breaking this movie down, talking about some of the good parts and the bad parts. And like I said, major spoilers. So we start the movie off where Thor is trapped in Muspelheim, Surtur's domain, the king of the fire demons. Well, we get to see Thor battle against Surtur in the beginning. There's a little bit of humor and comedic stuff going on. It's pretty funny, actually. But Thor ends up taking Surtur's crown, sucks him into the crown, and then he leaves. And he gets back to Asgard, where he sees a freaking statue of Loki. And he's like, okay, this is weird. And then he sees his father, Odin, is watching a Shakespearean play reenactment with Thor and Loki. And Loki's played by Matt Damon. It's pretty hilarious. And Thor is played by actual Chris Hemsworth's brother. Not Liam, but the other one. So then Thor quickly figures it out, and he's like, okay, I know you're not Odin. So he throws his hammer, and then he literally holds fake Odin, and he's like, I'll hold you here, bro, until you decide. Loki's like, ah, shit. And then he turns back. He's like, okay, you caught me, brother. And Thor's like, you're a piece of crap. He's like, where's Odin? And then you literally see them, travel straight to Earth. And Loki's like, I swear, I left him right here. And we're like, okay, sure you did, Loki. You stripped Odin of his powers, put a spell on him, and said, screw you, and I'm going to take over the kingdom. But okay, let's take Odin to Earth, right? So, he's not there, and then all of a sudden, that crap Doctor Strange does, that mystic shit, he literally creates a hole in the ground and sends Loki through a portal. And then all that's left on the ground is this little note that says a street address for Thor to go to. So Thor picks it up, he goes to the street address. You saw it in the trailer. Doctor Strange is like, Thor, Odin's son. He's like, why are you here on Earth? They basically have a conversation. Thor gets unlimited beer. Yeah, Doctor Strange is super ridiculously freaking powerful. The dude's sending them all over everywhere. He's just freaking teleporting them everywhere. Okay, Doctor Strange, when did you get this powerful? Now you're just a freaking sorcerer to the highest level. It's pretty dope though. It's super cool to see Doctor Strange at that level. Anyways, he's like, it's my job to look for weird beings and exotic animals and crap. Well, your adopted brother Loki, well, oh good. If you find him, you'll go back to Asgard. Cool, let me help. And then basically they go find Odin. He's in Norway. And this is a part of the movie I didn't like so much. So Odin dies, right? All right. We should have felt something. I didn't feel anything. I felt no emotion whatsoever. Odin's just like, yeah, Hela's my firstborn. She's my daughter. She's the goddess of death. Blah, blah, blah. And then he dies. And he gives Thor the Odin Force. Seriously, we all should have been crying our eyes out. But it's just something the movie didn't do very well. Anyways, then Hela comes out of this freaking portal. She's like, yo, what's up, bitches? I'm your sister. I'm the goddess of death. Okay, cool. I'm going to break your hammer, Thor. That was nothing. That was easy, man. And then she just shatters his hammer. And then Loki, because he's a little crybaby, is like, Heimdall, open the gate. And Thor's like, no. And then basically they give Hela a free ride passage back to Asgard. She kicks both their butts out of the rainbow and sends them flying through space and time, and we all know where they land up. They land in Sakaar. Well, Hela goes back to Asgard. She literally kills 2 of the Warriors 3 right off the bat. They're just like, you shut up! And they're dead. So, yeah, we got no development with them whatsoever. They were just gone. Lady Sif wasn't even in the movie. I don't know where she was, but she's dead, too. Let's just assume she's dead. No further notice needed for her. Anyways, then Karl Urban is the executioner. Well, I see him there, and he's like, I'm just a janitor. Please don't kill me. Dude, seriously, grow some balls. I mean, Hela would have killed him, obviously, and she does at the end, but point being, she's like, you look like a good boy, how would you like a job? He's like, oh, okay. And then they go into Asgard, and freaking Hela's like, it come to my attention that you don't know who I am. I am the goddess of death. And then she kills every Asgardian soldier, including the last Warrior 3. Yeah. She kills them like it's nothing. She's summoning weapons left and right. I don't know where she gets these weapons from. Originally, I thought it was the Soul Stone, but we don't even see the Soul Stone in this movie. So that's left me only one thing to think. It's in Black Panther. Anyways, it's a conversation for another day. Point being, she kills everyone. Yeah, well, Heimdall is like leading this revolution of people. He's basically saving all the civilians in Asgard and trying to get them out. Anyways, back to Sakaar, where Hulk's like, hello, what am I doing here? Like, and then Valkyrie comes in after Thor's been like captured and then breaks out of the captured stuff. And then she throws this little electronic thing into his neck and zaps him. He's like, and then, yeah. She takes him back. He's like, you should not be doing this. I'm Thor, son of Odin. And she's like, yeah, cool, son of Odin. Electrocute you again. And she takes him to the Grandmaster. Jeff Goldblum is amazing in this movie. Every scene with him is hilarious. Just absolutely fantastic. He's like, Valkyrie, what'd you bring me? She's like, a contender. And then, yeah, so Thor has a little thing with the Grandmaster where he calls him Sparkles, and it makes me just crack up completely. Loki's there, and Thor's like, Loki, what are you doing here? And blah, blah, blah. And apparently Loki, like, got him with the Grandmaster, and anyways. So everything else is pretty irrelevant until the point where Stan Lee comes in and cuts Thor's hair off. That scene's hilarious. And then you meet Korg, and he's just like, hello, I'm Korg. Hey, how you doing, man? It's actually director Taika Waititi played him, and he was a really unnecessary character, unless you're going back to the comics where Korg was a gladiator buddy of the Green Scar, another version of the Hulk. And, but yeah, I mean, he was funny. He was funny, but I just didn't see how he was necessary to the film. Anyways, you know, stuff happens. Thor then fights with Hulk. He gets his butt kicked a little bit at first, and then he takes the ginormous hammer and hits Hulk halfway across the arena. It's pretty awesome. Then Hulk gets mad, and Hulk's like, Hulk smash, no team, only Hulk. And he literally is smashing Thor into the ground. And then Thor has a vision of Odin, not realizing he has the Odin Force. He literally, full electricity, punches Thor like a mile high in the sky. And then you just get to see Thor kick the crap out of the Hulk. And then the Grandmaster, being a little whiny crybaby, hits the electricity thing, knocks Thor out, and then the Hulk, like, smashes Thor into the ground. Cool. Anyways, after that, you have a lot of flashbacks between Sakaar and Asgard, but basically you can just assume that the whole time in Asgard, Hela is just basically crying about everything. She uses the Eternal Flame and rebirths all these dead soldiers, and her freaking ginormous dog/wolf abomination Fenris. The thing is massive. It's ridiculously huge. Okay? So it's just her pet in this movie. It's not the child of Loki. So that would be just weird. Anywho, back to Sakaar. Hulk and Thor start to talk. Valkyrie is just a whiner pretty much all the way up until the point where Thor and Hulk are getting along a little bit better. And then Thor is just like, I'm putting together a team. It's you, me, and the big guy. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to join. So Thor's like, okay, cool. Well, that's what heroes do. And then he jumps out a window. And Hulk's like, no, Thor, come back. So he gets to the Quinjet. And, you know, you've seen it in the trailer. He's like, Thor, God of Thunder. And then he finally gets the ship on with a really hilarious pun line. He says Point Break. Because, remember, Tony Stark says, no hard feelings, Point Break. You got a mean swing. Anyways, the Hulk comes in and starts smashing the Quinjet to pieces, and then this message of Natasha Romanoff talking to him from Age of Ultron pops up. And then he goes back into Bruce Banner form, like, holy crap, he doesn't know where he is. He's freaking out. He's like, oh my gosh, my molecules in my brain are all going berserk. Anyways, So they go hiding. Grandmaster's losing his shit because he's like, my Hulk is gone, and I don't know what to do. Find him, Sakaar. And then everybody goes looking for the Hulk. Thor and Banner are walking around in disguises. Valkyrie finds them, and she's like, okay. And this is after Loki literally grabs her head and makes her see her past visions of when she was a Valkyrie fighting Hela. She's like, okay, I'd like to join your team. Has it got a name? And then Thor's like, Revengers. Jorgen Revenge, blah, blah, blah. Then they go to Loki. He's like, surprise. And then Thor tells this hilarious story about snakes and his brother trying to kill him as a kid. It's hilarious. Okay, then Thor and Loki go together. Bruce and Valkyrie go a different direction. Loki tries to deceive Thor. Oh, surprise! We didn't see that coming. But guess what? Thor outsmarts him, and it's pretty cool. So then Thor grabs the Grandmaster's ship and starts flying out. Valkyrie and Banner come up behind. Point being, they all end up getting out of his car. And then Korg comes up later. And he comes up to Loki. He's like, hey, man, my name's Korg. We're going to get on that giant ship right there. Want to come? And then they leave too, but they get to Asgard later. So Thor, Valkyrie, and Banner get to Asgard, where just everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I mean, just horribly. So Thor's like, okay, I'm going to go distract Hela and fight her. So he calls her to the throne room, fights her, gets his ass rammed. He loses an eye too. Pretty cool. So he looks like Odin. Starts wearing that eye patch towards the end. But then, she's like, I'm not a queen or a monster. I'm the goddess of death. What were you the god of again? And then he has that vision of Odin again. And then he gets all electric and happy. And literally shocks her with this ginormous bolt of lightning. And she goes flying somewhere. And then Thor comes down. And then they play the music. Thor kicks all those dead, reborn skeletons' butts. Korg and them get there. Loki basically see this epic fight scene. And then Hela comes back again, and she starts fighting them. Banner turns into the Hulk again, fights Fenris, throws him off into space. So Fenris is gone, so that's cool. And yeah, so they fight. Then Korg and them help. Heimdall's part in this movie is amazing. I love him. I think you're going to love it too. Anything with Idris Elba. Perfect. Anyways, so yeah, they fight Hela, but they can't beat her. So Thor tells Loki, there's only one way to do this, brother. You need to take the crown of Surtur and put it in the eternal flame. So Loki's like, bold move, brother, even for me. But he goes anyways, puts the crown of Surtur in the eternal flame. He's like, by the eternal flame, you were reborn. And he looks at the Tesseract too. So we know he takes the Tesseract because Thanos literally gets it from him in the trailer from the D23 Comic-Con release footage in San Diego of Infinity War, whatever. Anyways, point being, Surtur literally smashes out of the castle. He freaking, he drives his swords like straight through Hela and through the core of Asgard and destroys Asgard. But Thor and all of Asgard that's left, and Korg, Hulk, and Valkyrie, and Loki are all looking down as Asgard gets destroyed. You should be crying right now, right? No, Korg's just like, oh man, the foundations are still kind of there. They're kind of cool. And then Asgard explodes. He's like, oh no, man, the foundation's completely gone now. Why have a funny moment there? Asgard just got destroyed. That's supposed to be sad. So I didn't like that part. And then it ends. After Thor gets crowned King of Asgard, and they decide that they're going to go to Earth. So the end credit scenes. Well, you see Thor talking to Loki. Loki's like, you think Earth is going to accept me back? He's like, honestly, no, not really. He's like, yeah, I figured. And then they're like, what could go wrong, though? And then Thanos' ship comes up. Massive friggin' ship. So you can only assume, since directly into Infinity War, Thanos is going to, completely obliterate the ship to a point where it can't go anywhere. He's going to take Loki captured, and he's going to flick Thor into space, where he's going to land on the Milano, and then Mantis is going to be like, what happened? Because Asgard is literally in little clusters of meteor rocks. So, yeah, that's Thor Ragnarok. There's another end credit scene with Jeff Goldblum, Grandmaster, being like, hey, cool, you started a revelation. You have me to thank for that, blah, blah, blah. But the movie was hilarious. Almost at some points in time,